I'm Emmanuel Butts, and this is The Calling Collective. This is a safe place where we talk life, faith, calling, and introduce you to everyday people with various passions so you can better understand and discover yours. Enjoy the show.
What's up, y'all? It's your friend, it's your pal, Emmanuel. Didn't know where the camera was, but now we're here. All right. I'm here with a very special guest. He's a man of God. All right.
Amen.
A father of 4, soon to be 5. IT project manager. He's intelligent and he's wise. He's a deal daddy. That's a new nickname.
Yeah.
A super fly guy.
I try.
And Lay Trent, right here on the board. His name is Lay Trent, better known as my brother, Trenton Butts. What's up, brother? How you feeling, man?
Hello. Hello to the people. Hello to you, my brother.
My brother.
Happy to be here. Proud of what you're doing.
No doubt. Thank you for being here, my boy. All right. So before we start, we're doing this new thing. So we want to know. All right. Thumbs up or thumbs down. So Trent had a story, and we wanted to hear what y'all think about it.
Yeah, so thumbs up or thumbs down. Yesterday, we were on the way home. Manny got here Friday. He flew in Friday morning and went with me to pick up the kids from school. So we're on the way home. We get into the driveway, and my son, my middle son, he asks, why don't we celebrate Halloween? And I feel like I was caught off guard by the question. So, I answered and I said, and Halloween stuff happens that we just shouldn't be a part of. And he was like, that sounds like an answer that's not an answer. He said, are you being sarcastic with me? And he was serious.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, and I feel like it's funny because it made me think, because that was kind of the end of the conversation with him. But I thought about it, and we don't celebrate Halloween just because we've never celebrated Halloween. And I've really never given much thought to it. So it's like, I guess thumbs up or thumbs down on the answer one, and then on the decision not to celebrate Halloween just because that's what we've never done.
Yeah. I remember you said it's not Halloween itself, but it's like some things that occur like with Halloween and like, so like you're saying it's not is exactly itself, and I've never heard that point of view before.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in everything. Like everything may not have a clear right or wrong. Mm-hmm. But there's some stuff that can be aligned to stuff that's wrong. So rather than, find, the thin line or straddle the fence, I just kind of, I don't do it.
You're right. Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if Halloween is bad, and I haven't given it much thought, but I do know that, there's some things that could be aligned or could be connected to things that we don't support. So I'd rather just not support it as a whole.
That's fair. And what do y'all think? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Yeah. The response, his son flamed him up.
He did.
My view was wild on that one.
Yeah, because my kids know me well, and I feel like I am very sarcastic at times. And he thought maybe
my boy said, "Are you playing with me?"
Yeah, your answer didn't make sense, so I'm gonna assume you're joking right now.
Yeah, so
that's how it came off.
These kids are wild, and like last night we came in the driveway, and I parked the car, but it's like on a add-on of the driveway, so you got to park very skillfully.
Yes.
And so I parked the car, and it was a little bit in the grass, maybe halfway in the grass.
It was out there.
The kids said, Junior said, you got to have off-road tires if you want to park like this.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like, God dang.
I went out there this morning. I don't know if y'all have ever seen, like, at car dealerships when they have the Jeeps up on the little thing.
to look like off-road.
Yeah, to show that's what the car looked like on the side of the house. Yeah, it looked like somebody was drunk and parked it.
Oh, drunk?
I moved it this morning because I did not want my neighbors to think that way of me.
Drunk as well. I said, Bryson, close the door, man. He said, I can't close it when you're parked like this. I'm like, yo.
One thing about my kids, they will call you out.
They're gonna tell the truth. Yeah,
they will hold you accountable.
That's good though, man.
What they're used to.
Yeah, I bet it's like it helps you to have a good example though.
Yeah, because I know they're watching.
Yeah,
and not only are they watching, they will say something.
Yeah, they get that from LeBrit.
Yeah, kids. Yeah, you are not. Oh, and with that, today is my anniversary.
Oh yeah, man! Congrats, brother.
6 years. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Brittany.
LeBrit.
Yeah.
Lay Trent, Lay Brit.
Yeah.
We love you, LeBrittany.
We do. We love you. Happy anniversary.
It's beautiful. She's pregnant with that fifth child.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all release names, so I'm not going to say it, but it's...
I don't know.
Don't say it. We don't want that.
There's a lot
smoke.
of rules to this.
Yeah, we don't want that smoke. So, Brittany, we're going to do you a solid and not say it. But let's get into it, my brother. I feel like you're a man of excellence. You're a man of opportunity. Not that you're an opportunist, but like I feel like you've taken advantage of like great opportunities. And so I just want to hear you talk about a little bit about that and just maybe like your pathway to where you are now and like where'd you start out?
Yeah, so
it's a little loaded, but
yeah, there's a lot in that what you presented. But I'll start with kind of the path. So I work in IT and tech. Well, really more tech than IT. I don't fix anything. I can't fix your computer. I can't fix your phone, that sort of stuff. So I'm in tech, like enterprise tech. Right now, I work for Apple. I work in the payment space. I work with the team that does all of the development to maintain the gateways that support Apple Pay, Tap to Pay, all of your subscription services, all of that stuff. There's infrastructure, and then there's coding on top of the infrastructure to work with your phone, the banks, all of that.
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, basically the behind the scene coding that makes everything work. But I've worked in a lot of different tech spaces. That's where I am now. The payment space is a new space for me. But before that, I worked for Dell, actually working for a company that got acquired by Dell, EMC, doing like enterprise storage. So a lot of everything's going to the cloud now, but before that, people have their storage on site to house whatever they're storing and all of that. And then before that, I did more of networking type of stuff, setting up customer networks for enterprise level clients. And before that, I did project management more in the financial space. So I've touched a lot of stuff, but it's all project management, basically. Putting together a plan to get from point A to B that's aligned with whatever the roadmap of the company is. So that's my resume as far as what I've done. But as far as opportunities, I feel like I'm the type of person that I feel like I'm not an opportunist, because I feel like getting into being an opportunist, you can turn some situations that shouldn't be an opportunity into an opportunity. And that's not really what I'm about.
Yeah.
But I am about taking advantage of opportunities that are in front of you.
For sure.
And I feel like it sounds opportunist, but there's a lot of things like Facebook is one of those things that people use it for everything. I've gotten job offers on Facebook and things that I've pursued. So it's all about, how
like leveraging.
Yeah, leveraging that platform to be an opportunity for you versus, whatever else you may decide to do on Facebook. But yeah, I feel like good opportunities don't come often.
Yeah.
So I think one of the main things is being prepared for the opportunity. Knowing where you want to be, where you want to go, what the requirements are for that level, and aligning yourself with the things that you need to be prepared for.
That's
that.
Good. Yeah.
So when the opportunity, like, you have to seize the opportunity when it comes, but you have to be prepared for the opportunity well before it presents itself.
Real. Yeah.
And I think part of that for me has been like, I'll tell a story. Like when I worked at Verizon, that was like my first big break, I guess, into corporate. And I worked for like enterprise Verizon. So we would do I think it was like $10 million plus deals with companies to basically revamp their infrastructure.
Okay.
And I didn't have, I had some experience in project management from a previous job, but I didn't have any like enterprise level project management. I didn't have any of my professional certifications. I didn't have an advanced degree yet. I didn't have a lot of the stuff that it took. But one thing about Verizon is they have a business, their what would you call it? Their business, not really a business plan, but the way that they kind of do business is they'll They'll bring people on with no credentials. They'll build you up, give you experience, pay for you to go to school, do all of that. And then once you get to a certain level, they lay everybody off and then they do it again. That is like that's what they do. And that may sound bad, like, they build you up, they lay you off.
Yeah, like what's the purpose of building?
Really, that's a cost saving opportunity for them.
Oh, so I have to pay you more.
Once you're valuable,
that makes sense.
They have to pay you for they have to pay you for your experience.
Yeah.
They have to pay you for your credentials. So they'd rather push you out, bring somebody else in that they can pay nothing. Because the cost to pay for you to get there and the work they get out of you is better than paying for somebody that already has it coming in the door.
So is this like an understood thing, like at Verizon, or like an unspoken tip?
I mean, they've done. I don't know. I know I've seen it happen because that's how I got there. They fired. Okay. Not fired. They laid off the whole floor, and that's how I left.
Dang.
They had a layoff. Where first they did a wave where you could choose to take the severance, and I chose to take it. So it was a voluntary layoff, is what they called it. And a lot of people took it. And then I know, like, because I'm still on LinkedIn.
Now we're volunteering.
Yeah, I'm still on LinkedIn. I'm connected to, I used to be connected to people there. Okay. So I saw the job request go out. So I know they were hiring again.
So they must have, like, told them, like,
a lot of people took it because it was a good package.
So if everybody takes it, then they don't have to, like,
yeah, they have basically a quota.
Okay.
If they meet it with the volunteers, then they won't have to do involuntary layoffs. But they did both.
Okay.
And then, I know, because I watch, like, I'm in the culture in the industry, so I read the articles.
Okay.
And everybody knows what's going on, but I feel like I have the insight to know,
exactly what it means.
What it means.
Okay.
People know what's happening, but I know what it means that it's happening, and that basically they're restarting the cycle. But yeah, to get back to the whole point of that is, like, I get there, and at that time I was making, I think this was my first real job. I was making maybe like, $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year. But there were people there that I feel like I was exposed to kind of what life could be. Because I feel like I had never seen people living on that level, and you could just tell by the conversations you have with certain people.
It's just a different mindset.
Yeah, it's a different mindset, and it's a different life. They're living on a level that I feel like I hadn't been exposed to, because I didn't even aspire to make $100,000 a year, because I didn't know that's what people. I didn't know that's what people could make.
Yeah, and we're from a military background, military family, and so I remember you saying, like, you thought, like, that was, like, the end all be all, like, that's how people are successful.
I thought that was the best option for financial stability. Was the military, and the military is, thanks to all of our soldiers, to all of our Marines, all of our service members, for their service. But I feel like the military is pretty stable. You're gonna get a paycheck. They will pay you over time. Definitely, there's some I guess downsides.
The military is extra wild, bro. Yes, thank you for your service. I'm serving.
Yeah, he is a service member.
But it's wild, bro. The military is wild. Yeah. There's no overtime, so you just working all the time. But anyway, let's get back.
But that's what both of our parents are retired Marines, so that's what I grew up with. And we had a pretty good life. We were always stable. I don't remember, not having anything to eat. But I feel like in the military, financially, you are capped. And
for sure. Definitely,
and I feel like that cap was, that was the best you could get. But I learned at Verizon, being with people that had been there for 20 years, these people made a lot of money. And they lived a different life, and it kind of got me on the path to understanding, like, how did they get here? Because I'm working hard, and hard work is not always enough, like, by itself. So one thing I did when I was at Verizon, like, I went on LinkedIn and I started looking up the people that were on the level that I aspired to be on. And LinkedIn is like...
That's a good tip, y'all.
LinkedIn is one of the greatest tools in corporate America for anybody trying to break in, anybody trying to get ahead, all of that. It is a really great tool because it's like an open book.
Yeah.
So I go up there, I looked up my director, I can see where he's worked, I can see what his references are,
Yeah.
I can see where he went to school, what he got a degree in, what advanced degrees he has, because they're putting it out there for opportunities. So, but it was out there for me to understand, like, what does it require to get to this level?
That's real.
So at that point, I put together a plan, I put together a roadmap, and I started knocking out those goals. Like, and for project management, a PMP will double your salary.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if you want to get to a certain level as a project manager, you have to have your PMP. So I put it on my roadmap. An advanced degree is one of those things that you can get ahead without it, but it looks a lot better, and people have to pay you more because you have it.
They have to.
Yeah, so that was on my roadmap, and there were other like professional certifications that I put on my roadmap, and I basically spaced them out by time, cost, and effort, and I knocked out the least expensive stuff, the quicker stuff first, and then I built a longer roadmap for the 2 years it was going to take me to get my master's in information science. I spaced out my PMP because I know I've heard it's one of the hardest tests you can take, but I basically put together that plan, and I started working towards it, and I feel like that was one of the things that kind of transitioned to me, and I feel like another part, like the spiritual aspect of it, is because I prayed about it, things weren't going my way, but I was still faithful over the opportunity that I had in front of me to, I was faithful over the opportunity he gave me.
Yeah.
Because it was better than, I was making more money than I ever had. I was in a place where I could, grow and learn and all of that. And even though I did get passed over for some promotions and I was working harder than a lot of people and I wasn't realizing the benefits immediately, I still stayed faithful. I prayed about it. God gave me kind of the roadmap. And when I was faithful, I put in the time, the work to check these things off the box. It's like he met me there. He met me. He met me there when I had all of these things, and there's a lot to the whole Verizon era of my corporate journey. There's a lot that happened. And I had to learn corporate culture, what you do, what you don't do, what things will benefit you, what things will come back to bite you. And it's not all about, hard work. It's a lot more to it. But I feel like I got to a place where my resume was stacked. I had everything, but they still wouldn't move me around. They still wouldn't promote me. They still wouldn't pay me. And it was like, I felt like I hit a brick wall. And I prayed about it, Lord, bring me an opportunity, show me, move mountains for me, all of those things. And I feel like it's like the opportunity came with the voluntary layoff. Because at this point, I have my master's, I have my PMP, I have my ITIL certifications, Scrum certifications. I have at this point, I think I was there for 3 or 4 years, 4 years of experience. And they offered me basically like $30,000 to leave. With all of that, and that's what I did. And I feel like I took that leap of faith. I took advantage of the opportunity, and I went out there, and it was like it did not happen overnight, because there was about 6 months where I did not work after I left Verizon, and then it was like things started going bad. A lot of that severance money ended up going towards our house. We had to pay for something big. We had to do a lot of stuff. And it was like my faith was tested.
You're saying you were faithful with that opportunity?
Yeah, I was faithful over the opportunity, and not to get in too much detail, but it was like, I feel like the people had things, were holding certain things against me. So it
was it like a you thing or like?
Yeah, it was me and it was them, but it's still me. Like it's like to explain,
because like what you can control.
Yeah, because when people do things to you, it's still, in the long run, it's still about you. It's about how you respond. Because you can't control people, but you can control how you respond, and you should expect, especially people out in the world, you should expect them to behave a certain way.
Yeah.
And your promotion doesn't come from them, it comes from God.
Yeah.
So you still have peace, you still treat them with love and kindness, you still do your job to the best of your ability. And God can go around people. But in this situation, it was just quickly I was working very hard. I had multiple projects. There was a really big client that we got. It was Target. We got a huge contract with Target, but we didn't have the resources. We didn't have the people to support the contract. But you don't turn down money.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
So,
you're gonna figure it out.
You're gonna figure it out, and I feel like they were in a position where their backs were against the wall to figure out how to deliver on what they committed to.
Yeah.
And so that's why they came to me. They came with me and they said, we just need you to be
the man. Yeah. What's up with
you? They said, we need you to be a subject matter expert.
Yeah.
I know your plate is full, but we just need you to basically come on site with these. We're hiring a whole team for this. We want you to come on site. We want you to take escalations if things are going well. We want you to kind of just be the point of contact for them. If there's something that happens, they hit a wall, we want them to come to you and kind of facilitate the fix. Whoever it needs to go to or who it needs to be escalated to. They wanted me purely as a subject matter expert. So I said, yeah, I can do that. I don't mind all of that. So then some time passes. There's it's a big deal because it's a big client. It's $1 million contract. And the emails basically start coming out about, hey, this is what we're doing. And, in corporate culture is, you make a big deal about those things. You copy everybody on the email. So one of the emails comes out and it says yeah, this is the plan. This is the timeline. This is the team. And I start going through the email and I'm looking at it and they have me scheduled to run, we call them like activations because, Target has so many stores, so many corporate offices. They want to upgrade their network. We break it down into sites. And basically you have a project manager, a lower level project manager on, you have a technician that's on site, you have somebody, a representative from Target, so we can get in the store, we can upgrade, their access points, we can upgrade their satellites, so we can get them up to speed. And that's basically how we do it. And I look at the schedule and I am basically doing all of these activations. And it's like, that's not what I signed up for. I signed up for, you said you were hiring a team to do the activations. I'd basically be on call in case there's issues. And I don't have the bandwidth to be on these activations, doing them myself all night. And I've worked hard to where, like, at my position, this is not what I do anymore.
Yeah. Oh, so that was kind of like what you did when you first started.
Because it doesn't require much.
I remember you used to be up all night.
You get on a bridge all night, you open the bridge, you make sure everybody's there, you make sure they got access, and you just basically document everything. Like, I feel like anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Which isn't a knock to anybody, but it's like I did my time doing that.
In the ground,
you made a point, they have to be done overnight.
Yeah.
Because the stores are closed, traffic is low. So basically an activation starts at 11 p.m. and normally you finish by 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So basically they signed me up under false pretenses. I could not, I didn't even have the bandwidth to do it. Even if I wanted to do it, I have other projects that I'm managing. I cannot sit on all of these calls all night and manage my projects. There's no way. So when they sent the email out, I basically responded and I said it professionally, but I sent.
I remember this.
Yeah. I sent my current project load, what I was allocated to. I sent the timeline, the schedules. Like there's no way I can support both of these things. And one of the things you never there's not many situations where you should reply all, and I replied all. I knew that. Because it was one of them things that if I was making the right decision, I would have taken that up with the lady that was managing the project, that asked me for help between us. And then if my answer is no, she can take that back and do whatever she has to. But I responded to everybody. I responded to her boss, her boss's boss. I responded to our internal clients. I made it.
My boy blew it up.
Yeah, I blew it up to a level that it should not have been handled on. So, I made her look bad. She said that I lied. She said that she sent an email after that was very unprofessional, basically saying that I was not a team player, that I lied, all of this. And so then it even escalated more. My manager called me into a meeting with this lady that was the manager of the project and said, "Hey, you know what happened?" I said, "She's a liar." I was very defensive. I stood up and I that's like, and she did lie.
Yeah.
I was not wrong. What I said was not the truth, but it's still, that's not the way I should have handled that.
I feel that.
And then I'm gonna put it all into, like, put it into context. This lady that lied on me, that continued to lie on me, that basically turned me into publicly into somebody that was not a team player. Maybe a couple months after that, she became my manager. So she basically, in corporate culture, your manager has to sign off on any move you make, anything. She blocked everything. Every time I tried to do anything, she blocked it. My application wouldn't even get to the hiring managers because she wouldn't even sign off on them because she was upset about what happened before. And that's what I'm saying. Like, she was wrong. Yeah. She lied. She got me. She got me into this, based on an agreement we had, and publicly presented it as something else and made it so it would make me look bad if I declined, and I still declined because I was upset. Yeah. Not because I didn't, and that's the thing. It's not because she was wrong. It's not because, she lied on me. I responded the way I did because I was mad. And I feel like that's why it's like, it's not about her. It's not about the project. It's all about, it's how do you respond? And I responded in a way that kind of capped me. And then it's like, even further in this journey, she was one of the ones that everything I tried to do, all of that, it failed. She wouldn't let me move forward. But one of the things that happened when I was like, it's not going to happen here for me. I need to put together this roadmap. I put together the roadmap. I started crossing off the goals. One of the things was getting my PMP. Like, the boot camp for the PMP is like $5,000. And the test itself is, I think, like $500. Then you have to pay for your yearly membership and all of that. But there's like, I know people have gotten it paid for through Verizon, but I couldn't. They kept declining mine. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm putting it in here. They keep declining it. At this point, I don't know what to do. Yeah. And it was like, and one of my coworkers was like, "Why don't you send it off to so and so? She'll help you." I knew she wasn't gonna help me. This was the manager that had blocked me, but I sent it, and it was like, she responded, and she said, she sent me an attachment, fill this out and send it back to me. The class was paid for the next day. And it's like, that woman did not like me. She was still upset, but it's like, I feel like she didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like it was the favor of God. Yeah. Make your enemies your footstool type of thing. And this was before anybody knew I was leaving or any of that. Yeah. This was before the voluntary layoff came up. But it was like, God gave me favor in that situation when it's like, people will have no choice but to fall in line with God's will. Wow. And that was part of God's will for my life. So it was one of those things where I made a bad decision. I had to reap the consequences of the bad decision I made. But even in the end, even in my faithfulness and accepting that I was wrong, asking God to forgive me, making changes, I feel like at the end of that, God said, "Okay, you learned your lesson. You did what you had to do, man." And He stepped in, and he made the changes touch people's heart, made my enemies my footstool, and got me what I needed to get to my next level.
That's pretty awesome, man.
It is a lot to unpack. And that Verizon was one of the. Well, I feel like that I've been to so many different levels that have taught me so many things, and Verizon was one of those.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that or they said like God doesn't let you just like He doesn't let you skip grades. You know how like He push you through. In school they push you through, and like without passing tests, it's like you got to pass to go to the next level. Because
it's like, because you will be tempted to go around. It's like you're trying to go around God. Real. Yeah. And it's like you will get to a different place, but you will not get to a different level. You will get to a different place, and you will go through the same thing that you went through at the last place. And even when I go through stuff now. And I just, that's why it's important to be in the will of God. Yeah. Because things that look negative aren't necessarily negative. It's just it's all
Real
part of
talk.
it's
You're
all
like
part
your
of
development. You
yeah,
know?
it's development. But if you out of the will of God, you out here doing crazy stuff, you don't know if it's God or the devil or yourself. You don't know why you're going through what you're going through.
Like I got this. I was telling him I got a new job in the Army, and it's like the Army is just they'll move you around to different units and stuff, and like this job is so crazy. Like it is always like on 10, like always something needs to be done. Like I'm finding, and it seems like I'm always taking L's because I don't know what's required of me really yet, and so it's like, dang man, like. But I have peace and I'm not stressed, but like I know people in this position before are like depressed, like got to go talk to psychiatrist, just like people hate this job. And so I thank God because that's like you said, I see it as a development. Like I can feel myself being stretched, but it's like, okay, I'm growing. Like I'm not the best planner, but now I have a planner and I have to plan, so I have to grow.
God is using this to develop the parts of you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't be. I cannot not plan. I cannot not be intentional. Like I have to. Like
and I feel like I don't know, every level of the military, but I know once you get to a higher rank, you'll be over more soldiers, and it will require you to probably plan on a level that you have not planned before.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the things like with God, He will develop you in spaces that will not harm your future. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get
Pastor Trent,
if that's why,
real though.
That's why
in the
you
dark,
have to, that's why you have to learn it on this level.
Yeah,
because you get to the next level, you go around and do things where you may get the promotion and get to your next space where you do have to plan on the level that He's trying to teach you now. But if you don't have it, you are going to suffer on that level.
You build that foundation.
Yeah, it's going to be public.
Yeah.
Where if you would have learned it in the space that He created for you, you can learn your lessons, you can make your mistakes, and it won't harm the long term. Like that's why it's so important to embrace every season.
Yeah.
Even if it's a season of development, a season where you're doing things you don't want to do, a season that's taught to humble you. It may not be a mountaintop season, maybe a valley season. You still got to embrace it. You got to embrace it. And I always pray like, things going crazy, Lord. What are you trying to show me?
Wow.
So because I need to get it so I can move on. Because I'm tired.
My voice ain't trying to be here too much.
Yeah, I'm tired of being here, and I feel like I pray that, Lord, show me the lesson, what I need to learn, so I can move on. Because I'm never like I'm always going to choose faith in God.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm pretty sure you got to get the faith, bro. Like for sure.
That I remember somebody prophesied that to me. I didn't even know that was a gift.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've always had faith.
Yeah.
I've always. I feel like it's not even in me to give up because I know it's going to turn around. And I know there's always hope. There's always a plan. I can always see the other side. Or even when I can't see the other side, I always know there's an other side.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to come out of it. And I feel like it's one of those things where, I pray to God, show me, because I'm going to stay here as long as it takes for me to get what I need.
Yeah.
Because I know, to me, there's no other option.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm always going to have faith in you. And if you have me here, it's for a reason. So I'm going to be faithful over this season so I can get to whatever the next thing is.
Amen, brother. That's good, man. You gotta have faith, man.
You got to, man.
Have faith.
And I feel like these are lessons learned from seasons that I have been through, from times when I've been hard headed, from like God taught me this, and experience is the teacher. You can read your Bible, which you should, because that's how you know when things are God. That's how you know when it's when it's Him and not you. But it's like you learn and you develop your faith through what you go through. That's when it becomes
that's applied.
Yeah, you gotta apply it. That's when it becomes real. Yeah. I believe the Bible because of my faith in the Bible and what God teaches, that God is the Word and all of that. But I know it's true because I've tried it.
That's good.
I've been through it. I've had experiences where the principles in the Bible have shown themselves to be true.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. And I wanted to ask, I know we're going hard on the faith talk, but it's like that's our life. You know, we live for God, we live with God. And so I did want to ask you before we end, you got any corporate tips, like anything you would say to anybody inspiring to be in corporate or around that space?
Yes, I do. I think one of the biggest lessons that I have learned in being in corporate America is you put God first. You know, your purpose, your God-given purpose, you know, being in his will, that's number one. Yeah. Number two is you. And I feel like a lot of people, they put the corporate roadmap or strategy or the needs of the job above their needs. And that's another lesson I had to learn, because the job, they will get rid of you. The job, the company is going to do what's
the same way, bro.
The company is going to do what's best for the company. And if that does not include you,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I feel like I understand that, but while you're being faithful over, you know, the job, the opportunity that God is giving you, you also need to be building things that will be there when the job is not.
Increase your value.
Yeah, you have to increase your value, because when you no longer serve a purpose for them, you have to have things that serve your purpose. You have to have things that you know that supersede the job. And I feel like it's hard, because the job will make you feel like what their goals are most important, and you put everything on the back burner to do what they're asking you to do. But
when you leave, there will be another one.
There will be somebody else.
There's this position in the it's called an executive officer, right? And there's this guy. I'm like, man, this dude's cool. He's got all the tabs, all the badges. And then he was like, he left. Another dude showed up, had the same stuff. Like, bro, this is like dime a dozen. Like,
I told you with Verizon, they got the people like that they've built up, they're given their experience. Now all of these, and then when it comes time to pay them, they get rid of them and they hire somebody who knows nothing. Yeah. And they build them up again.
Yeah. So y'all build you.
Build you.
You
have to
take advantage of those opportunities. And brother, it's been great, man. This has been beautiful. I think I don't want to offend nobody, so I ain't gonna say best episode yet, but best episode yet. All right, y'all, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. You got anything else?
No, just follow God. Stay faithful.
Stay faithful, y'all. All right, love y'all. Later.